former President Jacob Zuma plans to oppose plans by veteran journalist Redi Thlabi to give evidence and to cross-examine him at the state capture inquiry. In July, Thlabi filed the application to cross-examine Zuma after his testimony at the commission implicating her.
In his testimony, Zuma accused Thlabi of working with foreign agents to defame him. But she has denied the allegations and wants Zuma to answer for them, which she says they are defamatory. Meanwhile, former Labour Minister Mildred Oliphant has taken the stand. She has called into question evidence by former Director General Mzwalele Manyu after the commission branding him a liar. Oliphant disputed claims that she met Manyu at OR Tambo International Airport on the day of her appointment as minister in November 2010. She has also refuted his claim that she promised to reinstate him. Let's get more on state capture inquiry now. I'm joined by my colleague Manqoba Mchunu. Thanks so much for your time this afternoon, Manqoba. What's happening there?
Well, let's start with what happened when the State Capture Commission resumed today. Of course, we saw some bit of, sort of like housekeeping from the chair, basically taking us through various applications of cross-examination that have been made by various people in different matters. Of course, one of them being that of the Agree's testimony at the State Capture Commission that implicated a lot of people, including senior government officials and ministers. And of course, we saw the chair granting the ANC chair, as well as the Minister of Mineral Resources, Gwede Mantashe, permission to give evidence as well as to cross-examine Agrees on some of the things that he had claimed, but also the application of the now suspended Sunday Times associate editor, Ranjeni Munsami, of course, who have been implicated in state capture by one of the witnesses, Colonel Nawaja Naidu, who says that she had benefited from the Secret Service fund of the police. So she also has been granted leave to cross-examine and give evidence in that regard. But also importantly is the issue that involves the president, the then former President Jacob Zuma, and one of the applications that was made by the former journalist and veteran journalist Redi Thlabi, who wanted to cross-examine Zuma on some of the evidence that he had given at the commission, which basically said or implied that Redi Thlabi was among those journalists who tried to conspire against Zuma and tried to defame him. But of course, the chair saying that he won't make a ruling at this stage, but he did give directives as to what should happen in the meantime for that process to unfold. Let's take a listen.
If the former president, Mr. Jacob Zuma, wishes to say anything in opposition to Mr. Redi Thlabi's application for leave to give evidence and to cross-examine him, he must deliver written submissions to the Secretary on or before Monday, 9 December 2019. 2, if no written submissions are delivered to the Acting Secretary of the Commission on or before Monday, the 9th, 2019, the chairperson will deal with the application in the manner he will deem appropriate, including making a decision.
So, Manqoba, there's also Mzwalele Manyu, who has appeared at the inquiry. Some of his testimony being cast into doubt.
Yes, Sanzinga, and I think it's some of the testimony that he has given at the State Capture Commission. Of course, he had implied at the time that he had met the then Minister of Labour, Mildred Oliphant, in 2010 in November 1. And that's the day, incidentally, when she was sworn in as the Minister of Labour. He says that, of course, he claimed at the Commission that he had met her at the airport, OR Tambo International Airport, where they had a cordial, sort of like a conversation about his job, and where he had indicated that, he was planning to take the department to court and to appeal his dismissal. And he says that from that, sort of conversation they had, that, there was an indication that he could be reinstated back into his job. But of course, she says that he's not telling the truth in this regard. But not only that, she says also that he might have misled the commission when he, claimed that, he was never dismissed from the department. Of course, that's a claim that he's been claiming on numerous occasions, that he was never dismissed but suspended. So she says that he misled the commission because from the point that they talked as back as 2010, he had already acknowledged that he was dismissed. And in fact, he's the one that claimed that he had been dismissed and wanted to be reinstated. Let's take a listen.
We have had evidence in the commission from Mr. Mani that he in fact met you at the airport when you touched down in Johannesburg on the 1st of November 2010. Do you recall that?
No, I didn't meet with him. I didn't meet with Mr. Mani at the airport.
So when he said he met with you at the airport and he had a conversation with you at the airport and he was waiting around for you, do you say that that was false?
No, yes, I can say it's false because I didn't meet with him at the airport.
So, Manqoba, what's next?
Well, right now on the stand is the former Public Service and Administrations Minister, Jabulani Baloyi, of course, who Oliphant has passed the buck to on most of these issues, saying that she referred the matter of his dismissal to him. He's the one that is a custodian of what needs to happen with regards to the act. And therefore, we need to hear his side of the story, why he was reinstated and why his withdrawal was ultimately cancelled and why he landed up at GCIS, where he facilitated deals for the Guptas.
Manqoba Mchunu giving us an update of what's happening at that inquiry into allegations of state capture. Now, Human Settlements, Water and Sanitation Minister Lindiwe Sisulu is about to brief the media on the drought crisis. We cross live to Parliament for that.